now to Steven Woolfe, Director of the Centre for Migration and Economic Prosperity, because we've got plenty of criminals going into the country every single day, but they don't seem to get arrested until they actually commit a crime, funnily enough, apart from the crime of landing here, which is illegal. Steven, very good morning to you.
Very good morning, Mike.
Good to see you. Previously, you and I have had conversations about the likelihood that people coming here legally on student visas, on work visas, are probably overstaying their welcome and contributing to the overall illegal migration population. And so it turns out to be. According to the Police and Telegraph today, some 40% of all asylum claimants are now migrants who have overstayed their visas. So we're now not only faced with the ridiculous numbers of people coming illegally on small boats, we've now got people coming legally, staying and becoming illegal.
Absolutely, Mike. This is an issue that I think you and I have both talked about now for nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
I was looking back at some old interviews and some of the research that we'd done, and I remember coming on your show and raising this issue with you. And you continued with that, and no one's listened.
Yeah.
No one's listened to the three big areas. One is the rise of those coming across on the Channel boats, which you've talked about extensively. The second is the visa issues that we're talking about now, and the third is family reunion. And when we talk about visas, Mike, this is where we have the biggest criticism towards the Conservative government, because it was under Priti Patel that the rules that allowed more students to come under visas to this country, and we raised the issue that they've even allowed more opportunities for colleges to allow more people to come in. Pressure from universities who are saying that they were not getting enough money from foreign students, but are raising the concerns that many of them weren't legitimate students. These figures today are proving us right.
Yes, they absolutely are. And it now turns out as well that many of them, 10,000 I think, out of the 40,000 of them who have so far sought asylum, are now being put up in migrant hotels. So, you know, the situation gets even worse. So here's Keir Starmer saying, oh yeah, we're going to do away with hotels, we're not going to put people in them anymore. They're now putting more people in them who came here to work or to be students.
Well, that's right, and it's always a weird thing for me when I look at this, that the logic of those who are drafting policy never think that this could potentially happen, and what would occur if someone came over here claiming to be here as a student, and as soon as they arrive, as we now know with the 10,000 that are having to be housed, immediately claim asylum when they get here. They're using this as an education and student visas as a backdoor to immigration.
Yeah.
And this is wholly wrong. It breaches all our immigration laws. It breaches the principles of asylum, and it breaches the principles of fairness and common sense that the British people have, and it must be halted immediately.
Yeah, totally right. And just because we haven't got a great deal of time, I'm going to give you the migrant of the day story for you today. This is a 34-year-old Tamil, a sex offender, who's somehow made his way to the Chagos Islands and claimed asylum in the UK, of course, because the Chagos Islands is still a British protectorate. He apparently tried to commit suicide and was in need of emergency surgery. So he was flown 5,000 miles by private jet for medical treatment in the Middle East. Our expense, £100,000 worth of our expense. He's now been flown back to the Chagos Islands after the operation, and he awaits whether or not we can give him asylum. I mean, is there some idiot running this organisation?
Well, I think there are arguments that it's not just more than one idiot, but more than one. And the reason is they're all caught between the ECHR and the UN Convention. But I do say there is some hope. I've always been excessively critical of the Labour Party, but there does seem, with some recent outpourings from Labour MPs, that they're even considering reviewing the ECHR. And Yvette Cooper is even alleging that she will stop some of the claimants being able to use it for family reunion. Now, if that happens, great news. Obviously, that's something we've called for. But the fact that this is occurring, Mike, shows that they too are beginning to realise how seriously our system is being abused.
Yeah, absolutely right. Steven, good to talk to you. We've got to run. Thanks very much indeed. Director for the Centre for Migration and Economic Prosperity, Steven Woolfe there.